Okay, we're live. Hi, it's Karina. Welcome to my first live on Substack. It's a new thing for me. I already did some webinars and masterclasses, but it's the first time I'm live here on Substack. So welcome. Today has already been a really nice day for me. We won gold in the Olympics. The team combination of skiing women won gold, surprisingly. So it's been a really happy day. I was really excited for them. So today I want to talk about networking because I feel like introverts especially struggle with networking. Not because we're shy, but because we feel like we have to fake extroversion. Because we were taught like different systems and to be loud, to talk and be kind of interesting, but that's not really matching our nervous system. It's not how we work. And that feels awkward and discomfort, and we feel like we are not meant to network or talk with people. But today I want to tell you that's not the truth. I don't have a talent in networking, never had, but I made it. I did it. I'm not saying I'm a pro in networking, but I like it now. I actually love hearing conversations, having deep conversations and deep connections with new people. And I feel like every self-employed introverted woman should be more visible and should do networking, because I think it's an important part of business, because you get more opportunities, you meet new people. You can't even imagine how much value I already got from networking, new strategies, new solutions, and a lot of really cool connections and conversations. And a business is meant to be connecting with people, helping people, and it grows faster when you have connections that help you, that grow with you, or give you solutions, strategies. So let's start from the beginning. Where do I come from with networking and socializing, and why do I think I'm a pro, or I should tell you something about it? I was a shy teenager. I was actually so shy that I was afraid talking to my aunt. And now I'm confidently networking with more people, with confident business women I've never even imagined to meet. And it didn't start with me just this being confident and going to networking events. It started with small steps. At first, actually, it started with small steps I made with a therapist because I was shy, and shy is a social anxiety. So if you have that, please go to a therapist. And that small first steps helped me to get out of my comfort zone and to grow confident, like talking with my aunt again, going to the supermarket and buying lunch, for example. And those small steps then continued, and I grew my comfort zone. And the next big step was for me to move to a new city. I didn't know anyone. And what are you doing in a new city when you're alone? You want to meet new people. So I went to networking events, I went to get-togethers. I was trying to fit in. And I tell you, I was really bad. My limiting belief was that I have to be extroverted and fake extroversion. Like I had to say something interesting to be interesting and to be liked. And I was really rude and interrupting because I was trying to fit in, trying to say something interesting, trying to have the best interesting answer. Well, it didn't work. So I felt like I was faking, and I was feeling awkward and misplaced at events. And then I didn't know what to say after hi, or like hi, nice to meet you. I'm Karina, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't know how to continue the conversation. And a really important problem and mistake I did was actually really important is also to follow up. Those are like chances that you're losing because the follow up is sometimes the most important part of networking. I just was afraid of being annoying, actually, because as a kid, I heard sometimes that I was annoying and I just didn't want to be annoying. So I didn't follow up. And I'm still struggling with DMs, by the way. So I just didn't know how to continue with that. But instead of talking and faking and like giving up because it was just so awkward, I got out of my comfort zone again and again to grow. And I want to talk with you about the biggest misconception and the biggest limiting belief that we have as introverts. We think networking and talking is about having and getting as many contacts as possible. That's not true. As an introvert, we actually have the skill. I will tell you about that later. We have the skill to do deep, meaningful conversations. And that's what actually networking is about. It's not about getting the most business cards or like talking with everyone on the party. It's about one meaningful conversation. Can be one meaningful conversations at one evening. Doesn't matter. It's more important to have those meaningful, deep conversations that we're actually good at as an introvert than having a lot of contacts and business cards that you didn't connect with. And I love those deep conversations. I love those connections now because you hear so many interesting stories that you've never even imagined. Like, I met a former ballerina from the ballet of the opera in Vienna that is now a meditation gong bath guide. I was like, I've never even heard about that before. And those are those interesting conversations that are the goals of networking. And that's what introverts are actually good at. And I will tell you a little secret, but don't tell the extroverts. We are actually better at networking. If you actually do it, by the way, if you actually go there. Because what do people want? People want to be listened to. I know it sounds simple, right? It's people want to be listened to. So I'll tell you a little fun story that happened last month at a networking event. I was in a networking event and there was a keynote about networking, talking about points how to be good at networking. And you can imagine what the points were he was talking about. Listening, connecting deeply, being present, and being empathic. Those are traits that introverts have that we're actually good at. We're empathic, we're sensitive. We listen because we focus. We connect deeply and we are present. So if you go to a networking event, you should know that you are actually good at it if you try it. I know it's hard because my journey also didn't start with a big networking event, meeting business women. I started as a shy teenager, as I told you about. And now I'm confidently networking. And I actually got my first clients, not via social media, but through networking events where I deeply connected with like-minded people, introverts. And I started a few years ago going to networking events alone. I talked with one person actually. I was a big fair, it was a big networking event. And I started, I talked with one person at lunch. That's it. But it didn't matter. It was the first step out of my comfort zone. I was overwhelmed with the event. I was overwhelmed with so many people. I actually made the mistake to not follow up, and I just said small talk. But that small step continued, and I did more and more. And with that, I learned. I practiced networking. And now I go to networking events and know people. I have with them deep conversations, and then I follow up. I go to breakfast with them, and I have clients from networking events. And it's okay to feel awkward. I felt awkward at that first event as well. I was wandering alone, and I guess it would also look weird, but at first steps, and then I also continued doing them, is what matters, and what made me now who I am as a networking pro, let's say. But before that, the first step wasn't to go to a networking event. It was also way before, when I moved to a new city, when I started studying again. I had to meet new people. And I think as a self-employed person, you also have to meet new people, because you need the connection, you need new ideas, new strategies, corporations, clients. And I was forced to talk with people, to meet new people, because, we had group projects at the university. I was like at parties, being awkward. I had a lot of brain freeze. I didn't know what to talk about. I joined an NGO and I volunteered. And I think that was the biggest step for me out of my comfort zone, and what grew the most, because with that, I had to help. I had to volunteer. I had to break my comfort zone. I had to stand at info stands, talk about the organization. I had to, well, I didn't have to, but I like to do workshops on time management. At some point, I got to be the president, and I had to organize fairs. And surprisingly, I had to pick up the phone. I know people don't like picking up the phone, but I actually did it. And now I wouldn't say I'm comfortable with it, but you just get used to it. And all of those steps helped me to be good at networking, good at talking with people, and now also being present now here online, live. I mean, that's crazy. I could have never imagined being here now, talking with you live, when I was this shy teenager who was afraid of talking with my aunt. So why am I doing that? And why I think you should do that too, to be more visible, to talk with people. Because I want to show you that it's possible to be visible and to network and be comfortable at socializing as an introvert. Am I nervous? Yeah. I mean, I'm sweating. But with practice, and that's what I'm doing. That's why this is the first live. This is why I'm practicing with this one. It will get better. And this one is already better because I already did 5-6 masterclasses. I will get better at networking. I will get better at being visible now. And you can do that too. So, with the first steps, I already told you why we're doing that. Because as a self-employed or business person, women, you should know that networking is important. It's not overrated in this social media, internet time, because it's even more important. People want personal connections. People want to connect deeper. I've never had this deep connection with anyone online that I have with the people I talk at networking events about introversion, about the same topics I talk online. I just have the deeper personal connection that more than I have online. And I think that's the key to a business. To be visible, to be personally, talking with people, because people gain trust through that better personally instead of online. And you can be visible online the whole time. I'm visible online, but nobody is buying or nobody will buy because they don't trust you. They don't trust you that well. And because, AI and scammers and coaches that aren't coaches. But with personal connection, when they feel you, when they hear you personally, they will have the connection. And I see it so many times, like the people who comment, who are my clients, they're all from networking events because they see me, they heard me, and they saw my experience and my story. And I know it feels safe in the moment to stay invisible in your walls and at home, but over time, the value of networking, of connecting personally to people is way, way higher, crazy higher than any reel you post. You can't imagine how much value I already got from conversations with talking about strategies, solutions, corporations, and also just telling my story. And also clients, like I told you. So please don't limit yourself by not connecting. So if you feel that conversation, that networking shouldn't feel exhausting or awkward, this is exactly why I created actually last year already an online course. Exactly 1 year ago on February, I launched it. It's the first step. It's only the first step to successfully network with confidence. And there's conversation topics in it, introduction ideas, just those small steps that you may be still missing to get into the connection and the conversation you want. And also including calming nervous system strategies that help me. By the way, a bonus thing I wanted to mention is I always turn on the music before I go to networking events, like this party music, mood lifting, and it's a game changer for me. Because sometimes you're just missing this when you drive there and you're annoyed by the chaos, the traffic. But this music puts on a good mood, and I'm way more confident and way more in a better mood. Doesn't matter what happened the whole day. I'm in a better mood for the networking event. I just wanted to add that. So I'm restructuring my offers at the moment. So I'm giving out this course that I published last year only this February with $100 discount. So it's now, euros, 100 euros discount. So it was 147 euros and now it's 47 euros because of restructuring my offers. And I'm starting with new offers in March. So this is your chance. I will write the link in the chat. Let me see how I get that there. Write it here. I don't know if that works. It's the first time on Substack. But yeah, if it didn't work, you will get it in my newsletter in the next one. It's a first step, like basic steps, how to start, how to, like I said, conversation steps, how to get into a group. Like one of my clients, we talked about how to start getting into a group. That's one of the struggles, one of my biggest struggles to get into a group. Like, how do I enter a group? And for example, I also have hacks and secret tips for that. in my offer. And I want to tell you that I'm here to help you. I already did the whole journey of shy introvert to now confidently networking. So if you need more individual help, please write me. If you have any questions, write me. And we can also talk about it in the mentoring sessions. I can help you guide you through the networking or like a specific networking or any structure you need. Also for you to become visible online. And yeah, and as an end, it's already been 20 minutes. Wow, usually I don't talk that much. I would love to hear from you. What feels the hardest for you right now about networking or socializing in general? I know there are a lot of struggles introverts have as a networking, and I want to hear your biggest struggles, and just write me a DM or in the comments below, and I'd love to hear from you. Are there any questions, if you have? Thank you, by the way, for joining me at the live. It's the first time on Substack. And I think it's going well. Okay, there aren't any questions. If you have any questions, if you want to know more about the online course I'm giving away for 47 euros, or my mentoring where we can go into deeply together and create the calm structure for your networking, then please write me a DM. And thank you for joining, and I wish you a nice day, or for me already evening. And hope to see you soon. I'm thinking about doing that once a week or every 2 weeks, depending on my energy. And if you have any topics that you want me to talk about at the next live, sure, I'm also welcoming any topics you might be interested in. Thank you for joining.